I won the lottery! I've been living a hard life because you only gave me $1,000 a month. But now I can live freely. In front of me, my mother-in-law, Barbara, uttered those words with a spiteful smile I had never seen before. Married to my husband for 30 years, we had been assisting his financially struggling parents with $1,000 every month. Every time we managed to scrape together the $1,000 and transfer it, mother-in-law would call to apologize and thank us. How did it come to this? The mother-in-law, who only ever talked about money in front of me, seemed like a complete stranger. My name is Nancy, and I am 47 years old. I married my childhood friend Thomas right after we graduated from high school. We both enjoy our jobs and, despite being busy, lead a happy life. We've had a good relationship with the parents-in-law since I was a child, as they had taken care of me. My own parents, now deceased, were both working when I was a child. They prepared meals for me while they were out, but as an only child, my daily routine involved playing with the neighborhood boy, Thomas. His family ran a factory, where they would welcome me warmly, saying, "Oh, Nancy, welcome! Feel free to relax here today." They took great care of me. I grew up in the countryside, surrounded by nature and a peaceful atmosphere. The elegant surroundings contrasted starkly with the parents-in-law's workplace, full of large machines I had never seen before. It was a shock at first. "Robert, what is this machine doing right now?" "This one here can freely shape things. Depending on how much force you apply, you can make whatever shape you like." My father-in-law, Robert, would reply with a smile, even during his busy workday. Barbara would serve delicious snacks during snack time. "Barbara, this treat is delicious. Thank you," I would say, and she'd respond with a pleased look. "The treats and chocolates you're eating now are made in a different factory. They're beautiful and taste perfect, right?" "Really? Machines are amazing." Even as a child, I was impressed by the precision and accuracy of machinery, far surpassing human capabilities. Other than going home for lunch to eat meals prepared by my parents, my options were either running around playing with Thomas or sticking by the machines, which made for a happy way to pass the time. One day, I dreamed of working at the parents-in-law's factory and went to a technical university to study hard and realize that dream. My husband felt the same about working at his family's factory, and after getting married, we decided to work there together. After graduating, we went to the parents-in-law's place with great anticipation. "I'm sorry, both of you." "I was happy to hear you wanted to work in our factory, but it's gone bankrupt." I can never forget the look of frustration on parents-in-law's faces. My husband and I were stunned, watching as his family home was disposed of. Eventually, as parents-in-law started apartment living, I made a decision. "Listen, I want to move to the city. There are more job opportunities there, and I want to give back to Robert and Barbara as much as I can." Initially surprised, my husband agreed. "Indeed, we want to find what we truly want to do from a range of options, while sufficiently supporting our parents," he said. Then I landed a job in the factory I had always admired, and started a part-time job on weekends to send more money to the parents-in-law. Despite the physical labor and exhaustion, working around machines I loved made me feel fulfilled. However, the factory work was surprisingly tough, something I hadn't realized as a child. Struggling to maintain physical strength, I nearly fainted from anemia due to the busyness. This led me to think about balancing work and family life. After decades of a busy life, one day, Barbara called me. "Hello?" "Hello, Nancy. Sorry to bother you when you're busy. Robert passed away recently. He had been unwell for a while. He didn't want to worry you and Thomas, so he asked not to say it was due to illness." That call made me regret not being there more. I had been too busy to visit, and was filled with a desire to make their later years comfortable. Frustrated that I couldn't be there till the end, I offered Barbara, "Why don't the three of us live together? I'm ready whenever you are, so please don't hesitate." After a pause, Barbara declined. "No, if you're enjoying your current job, there's no need to quit. I want some time alone for a while. I worked so much in my youth, but life isn't easy. So could you increase the support a little more?" I was taken aback. The city indeed offered higher wages, but the cost of living was also higher, and I was reaching my limits. "Barbara, I'm sorry, but to be honest, increasing the support further would strain our finances. I'm doing my best with multiple jobs, and don't want to say this, but it's the truth." Then, "Oh," I heard Barbara say, which clearly showed her surprise. I thought, "I wonder if I've said something to worry about." The next moment, "Double work is tough, you say. Is that a dig at me? Be grateful you have jobs. Right before the bankruptcy, both Robert and I worked, unpaid. If you're managing to live, surely you can increase your support, right?" Her unexpected words left me reeling and feeling utterly outmatched. I replied, "Understood. Let's discuss this matter with Thomas soon. It involves him too." With that, I ended the call. I understand Barbara's perspective, to some extent, and I'm grateful to the company that employed me. But our bodies are our assets. Overworking, to the point of illness, would mean giving up both the support and our dreams. Before visiting Barbara, my husband and I went to see her brother, Charles. He welcomed us warmly, and we immediately discussed the support for Barbara. "I was also sending her a little money. I have a daughter who is now independent, and as I'm getting older, I want to leave her as much money as I can. I went to discuss it with Barbara once. A few years back, we planned a surprise family visit during the holidays, and accidentally saw Barbara buying a lot of lottery tickets." We had a suspicion listening up to this point. Barbara had been pouring almost all the money I sent her into lottery tickets. The kind, gentle person I knew was gone, replaced by someone fixated on the lottery. It seemed more important to her than a family visit. Probably, your money too has vanished into those tickets. I see. As we continued talking, it became clear that Barbara, once passionate about her work at the factory, fell into despair after its closure and deteriorating health and old age. Losing Robert, her reliance, dulled her judgment further, leading her to seek solace in the easily accessible lottery tickets. After realizing this, I stopped sending money for my daughter's sake, but it seems you two became the new target. I am truly sorry. My husband and I were willing to support Barbara out of gratitude, but the lottery isn't a guaranteed win. It's mostly designed not to. Investing in it felt like throwing money away. I'm worried about your health, and we need to go talk to Mom again. My husband assured that he would handle any tough conversations. The following month after the phone call with Barbara, we visited her to express that we couldn't increase our support without straining our own lives. Even my brother stopped supporting me when his child was around. I didn't press him because he had a child. But you two, without kids, are terrible son and daughter-in-law. I was hoping for more support from you two. No grandchildren, only meager support, you ungrateful wretches. It seemed Barbara had not reflected at all since her brother Charles stopped sending her money. As my husband was about to discuss the misuse of the support money, "You know what? I just won the jackpot in the lottery. All those years of investment paid off. So, either way, I don't need any help anymore," Barbara unexpectedly announced. We were both relieved to hear that the long years of sending money were finally over. But then Barbara said, "Honestly, $1,000 a month isn't enough to live on. You're working double in the city, and that's all you can earn? Doesn't that mean you're not good at your job?" I was stunned, but my husband immediately defended me. "Mom, what was that?" Nancy admired you and has been working hard to give back, always hoping you could live comfortably rather than splurging on herself. He was furious and pleaded desperately with Barbara. I had been working tirelessly to support the parents-in-law after they lost their familiar home due to debt. I didn't need gratitude, but I never expected to be ridiculed for the amount of support and accused of being incompetent. As I tried to explain why I continued to work double jobs, Barbara shouted over me, "I don't want to hear excuses. Incompetent people always make excuses. Don't act so high and mighty over such small change." Seeing Barbara mock me like that, I realized the kind Barbara I once knew was gone, and it saddened me deeply. Holding back tears, I said, "Understood. We will stop the support." I left, feeling heavy-hearted that it ended this way, but my husband's support helped me recover. Afterwards, I focused solely on my job at the factory, devoting myself to the machines and work that brought me joy. About a month later, I received numerous calls from Barbara. Panicked, I answered, thinking something had happened, only to hear, "It's a disaster! A disaster! I've started receiving notices for unpaid rent, utilities, and medical bills. At first, I didn't understand and threw them away. But then they started calling me. Is this some new type of scam targeting the elderly? But what is it, really?" I urged her to calm down and explained, "It's not a scam. We've transferred the responsibility for the rent, utilities, and medical expenses to you, since you said you didn't need our help anymore. The notices are probably because the account doesn't have enough funds." I added, "You need to sort this out quickly to avoid being evicted." On the phone, Barbara was panicking, repeatedly mentioning $1,000. I sighed and clarified. The most we could give was $1,000 per month. Rent, utilities, and medical expenses combined were over $5,000 monthly. And why are you acting surprised? We've explained this since the beginning of our support, haven't we? I replied, exasperated. After a few seconds of silence, Barbara started to apologize repeatedly, admitting her fault. "It was all my fault. I totally forgot about paying because it felt like we were being helped by the government since we became poor." I wanted to retort that help wouldn't come without any application, but it didn't matter anymore. My efforts never reached Barbara. I realized that and exclaimed, "Even if it was a promise from 20 years ago, we worked hard just for you. But you constantly criticized us for not earning enough or not giving you grandchildren, and I'm fed up. I admired you and aspired to work in the factory. Thinking of you every day at work was my motivation." I yelled that out. Barbara just cried, saying, "I'm sorry." But it was too late. I was just putting on a brave face before. I actually spent $1,000 on lottery tickets and only won $5,000. I can't live on that. I won't lie anymore. Please help me." While it was good that she was finally being honest, I was honestly fed up with her wailing. Thinking of Barbara, we decided to take responsibility. responsibility and blocked her contact. A month later, I heard rumors that Barbara was going around the neighborhood asking for money and bragging about the lottery, causing annoyance. She never interacted with neighbors before due to her busy work life, but suddenly, seeking admiration and lonely, she started reaching out. Naturally, neighbors grew suspicious and distanced themselves. After realizing the winning amount, she desperately asked others for money, but no one entertained her pleas. In her panic, Barbara confessed, "I've only won $5,000, and the son and daughter-in-law who supported me have cut ties. I can't live like this." Despite her desperate attempts to find sympathy, neighbors remarked, "You should have been thankful every day for the support you had. We only have our pensions. Be grateful for any help." And, "She's probably hiding a bigger win and trying to swindle more money from us." It seems that only then did Barbara realize the true value of the silent support we provided. Desperation skews judgment, and Barbara was telling everyone about her lottery win, resulting in most people distancing themselves and only attracting those interested in her money. Barbara, having fallen for a too-good-to-be-true scheme that promised to turn her $5K into $500K, lost all her money. She became unable to even pay rent, and despite the numerous calls from various numbers, I had them all blocked. I decided not to contact her until she truly reflected on her actions. According to neighbors, after losing everything, Barbara moved to a cheaper apartment, unable to pay her rent or medical bills. Having no money for lottery tickets, she sold Robert's belongings to cover some of her arrears. She even reported the scam to the police, but as the money was handed over in a place without surveillance cameras, the chances of catching the scammer were slim. Eventually, Barbara had to start working due to insufficient pension. She took up a part-time job aimed at seniors. Whether it was the freshness of communication with other elderly people or finding a new purpose beyond the lottery, Barbara seems to be rediscovering the joy of physical activity, the challenges of work, and the beauty of human connections. As for me, I worked hard at the factory I love and was promoted to a managerial position. Rather, it was just that I had finally accepted the offer that I had been refusing, until now. I had been with the company for a long time, and my work had always been well regarded, so I was often offered promotions. But with promotion comes more responsibility and overtime. I had been resisting promotion because double jobs were more lucrative even with overtime pay. Now, with no reason to refuse, I accepted the position, prioritizing employee safety and finding fulfillment in my work. Thanks for the hard work, everyone. Let's appreciate today, I say to the employees and machines, never forgetting the daily gratitude and ensuring the machinery is well maintained. My current position is a testament to the parents-in-law who taught me the wonder of machinery. Contemplating, I thought, my days are happy now, partly thanks to Barbara. If she's truly remorseful, perhaps I could consider restarting the support. With a readiness to be scoffed at by my husband, I voiced this thought, and he tentatively agreed, suggesting, well, we're getting on in years, too. Living together is out of the question. But if she becomes immobile, we might look into supporting her with an elderly home's costs. Let's wait and see for a while, though. His response was comforting. My dream is to own my factory. Despite everything said and done, someday I want to proudly thank Barbara for her part in my journey.